Hello, everyone. Quick heads up before we start today's episode. The Global Agile Summit is happening on May the 4th. Yes, May the 4th, and even with a big blowout Star Wars party, you have to join. It will be online and it's, like always, free to attend. We have 4 tracks this year that I'm really excited about, and I think you will too. Stick around to the end of the episode to know what they are. If you want to check it out already now, you can check it out at bit.ly/Global Agile 26. That's the numerals 2 and 6 at the end. So one more time, that's bit.ly/Global Agile 26. All one word, all lowercase, and 2 and 6 are the numerals 2 and 6. So stick around till the end of the episode and I'll tell you what's in store. But for now, on to today's episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Success Thursday. This week we have with us Efe Gümüs. Hey, Efe, welcome back.
Hey again, Vasco.
I really liked our episode yesterday. It was long, and I think it could have been a lot longer if we really wanted to dig into some of those transformation topics. So everybody, if you haven't listened to it yet, check it out. But today we're going to talk about success for us as Scrum Masters. Efe, but before we dive into that, what's your favorite Agile retrospective format and why?
It's actually hard to define. Like, I cannot just say one Agile retrospective name and claim that as my favorite. Because as we talked before, every single team is going to have different dynamics. And as a Scrum Master or as an Agile coach, whoever you are working with, establishing or creating a retrospective that is actually addressing to the squad's needs or the team's needs is the one that makes the most impact. For me, I don't have a proper name, but most of the retrospectives are already created with that structure. When you have a diverse perspectives and a grown zone, and then converged thinking, and then action points. When you have that structure, that diamond in a facilitation, then it is going to be a good retrospective, because you are going to see people actually owning the actions.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the goal. Like we talked about yesterday, right? We can help set the direction, but ultimately it's the people doing the work that need to own the actions and the outcome, because otherwise they can't adapt, they can't learn, there's no value to the retrospective then.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And we do these retrospectives because we want to help teams succeed and we want ourselves to be successful because of that. So share with us, Efe, when you think about your work as a Scrum Master, how do you define success for yourself?
Ooh, that's a really challenging question, actually, because as a Scrum Master, it's super hard to see where you are succeeding. Because does this mean if the team performance increases, am I succeeding? Or if the deliveries are timely, am I succeeding? I would not put it on those type of elements. I would rather say you're a successful Scrum Master if you are actively contributing to the organizational matters, where actually increasing the transparency on solutions, transparency on the problems, and maybe even facilitating some meetings or some brainstorming sessions to reach the group to the solution. That's the organizational leadership part. And when it comes to team leadership, if people feel safe to approach to you with their own problems, if people feel safe to actually talk within the team meetings, team events freely, without without thinking about like that they are going to get blamed or something. If people can actually like raise their voice and identify the risks before delivery and not just gonna say that like at the last day, of course, like there are going to be some what do you call this, some cases where people are not going to notice it like until the end, but of course like those are just like in some cases, as I said before. And yeah, like also your collaboration with other roles, with developers, with product owners, with managers. The healthier they are, the more successful as a Scrum Master you are, I would say. Because it doesn't mean that like you have to check in regularly or like frequently, or just like having a meeting, having a recurring meeting for the sake of having it, but actually making an impact, bridging the gap between the roles and creating value out of this like system, then you can consider yourself as a successful Scrum Master. That's my definition. It's long.
So, no, and it's an important one. And actually, I wanted to dig into that a little bit more. So you said like the health of those relationships is important. You also said you don't need to have a standing meeting or whatever, but make sure that you keep track of it and so on. How do you do that, Efe? Like when you think about your role as a Scrum Master, how do you keep an eye or how do you keep observing and reflecting on that health of the relationships with the different stakeholders and of course the team members and so on?
Super difficult thing. It's really not easy. And I'm not saying that I'm doing this like 100%. Like it's so hard. Like you're constantly having ups and downs while doing this. Sometimes it's going to be like, oh, it's amazing. We are like actually like having a partnership here, which is also like super important. And sometimes it's just like, I really don't know like what this person like needs from me or like wants from me. Like he just complained like at this session. And as I'm saying, like it's always like having these like ups and downs, but how you can keep this healthy, how like what's helped me the most is actually, as agile leaders, we have to be empathic. We have to, like, there is no case that you are allowed to be like selfish as an agile leader. Empathic does not only mean that like, like at that, what is that person going through at that moment? Of course, as a coach, as a mentor, as a facilitator, you have to read the room. You have to understand where they're at. You have to set the stage. You have to understand with what purpose that person joined that meeting or that one-to-one call. You have to think about those things. At the same time, don't forget about everyone having their different career experiences. If you are talking to more like older generation of a colleague, then what they had gone through is going to be like way harsher than you would ever imagine. I'm talking about this like especially to the young colleagues, like when like the ones that are like just jumping into the role. You have to be empathic about also like gender equality, for example, like when they were also like climbing that corporate ladder. You have to think about the coping mechanisms that they actually established within themselves, because that's what they worked for them. And these are going to be the things that are going to create resilience for you. And the health of this dynamic starts from understanding these two different states. Of course, you can always say, yeah, but like for me, like I also like went through this and that. Yes, but you are, let's say, you are shaped as a growth-minded agile leader already, and you are in this journey fixating on this. Like this is basically like your pathway, and it's about like communicating, speaking the common language, and you have to understand their perspective too, and you have to give them assurance. Okay, but like, look, if we change it this way, they're going to see outcomes or like impacts more visibly. And if you actually can translate every action into like an outcome focused progress, or like a piece of progress, then it is going to be easier for them to also accept this. So
absolutely,
that's basically,
and that's a lot of work right there, right?
Yeah.
And that's before we do the facilitation, the coaching, the communication, mediation, all of that. But it's a really important aspect. We need to engage with people as people. I really like that. Thank you for sharing that with Efe.
Thanks a lot for listening, Vasco.
Hi there, friends. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the episode. So let me tell you what's coming. On May 4th, we're running the Global Agile Summit. It will be online, and I want you there. This year, we have 4 tracks, and each one is built around real conversations with practitioners. No slides, no keynote theater, just honest interviews with people doing the work, just like you. The first track is AI in organizations, where practitioners show what actually works. No hype, just AI that makes your Monday better. Happy Monday, everybody. And then we have the people track, honest conversations about putting humans at the center of how we work and keeping them there. And third is Agile in construction. And yes, I really mean brick and mortar construction. Lean and Agile actual job sites. Field leaders removing waste, teams transforming how buildings get built. Stay tuned for what I think will be a super track on Agile in construction. And the fourth track is Agile in gaming, how game studios ship without burning out. Agile inside the creative pressure cooker. Over the years, we've had more than 12,000 participants since 2017, the time of the first summit organized with the podcast. And this year, we're making it easier than ever to join. You can register for free and get access to the summit sessions live during the event week. That's May 4th to May 6th. Or you can grab the practitioner pass and get immediate access to last year's keynotes from Jürgen Appelo, Gojko Adzic, and Mirete Kangas. Right now, even before the summit starts. So grab your practitioner pass and start learning today. Head on over to bit.ly/Global Agile 26. That's 26, the numerals 2 and 6. Sign up, and I'll see you on May the 4th. And one more time, here we go, bit.ly/Global Agile 26. All lowercase, all one word, and 26, that's the numeral 2 and the numeral 6. I'll see you on the conference floor.